660 AM, theanswer.com. That is the place to go for stuff we leave you. And among the stuff we leave you, podcasts of everyday show. It has been quite the week. I got to tell you, I know you got a lot to do this weekend, but just go download some of the shows we've had this week. They have been they've been pretty amazing. A lot of great stuff from you and the calling audience. Some wonderful, wonderful guests. And hey, speaking of the guest parade, this is absolutely great. It's always a pleasure to head into the world of Texas finances. I mean, it takes money to run a state. And Texas Comptroller Susan Combs is on a push for transparency, which is good. We're going to ask her about that and some other things going on in her life. It is a pleasure to welcome you back to the show. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hey, Mark. Good morning.
Let's go to what you're up to this very week. There's got a little headline in front of me. Texas Comptroller Susan Combs joins legislative leadership to announce government transparency. In what regard?
Two things. There's two bills, House Bill and Senate Bill 13, House Bill and Senate Bill 14, and they deal with transparency from every level of government, schools, community colleges, et cetera. They deal with how much debt you are asked to vote for and whether or not you already know about it. We propose that it be on the ballot. The other bill about pensions is about pensions telling you how deep in the hole they are, what their returns have been, so that if, in fact, there is an underfunding problem, that you, the local residents, know because it's another form of debt. And it's pretty critical that we do this. Well,
let me ask you about pensions, because if you do a Google search on news stories about pensions, it's people talking about some of the public employee pensions. Governor Christie has done a lot of battle about this up in New Jersey, Governor Walker in Wisconsin. What is our situation here in Texas about our ability to fund these obligations? They are promises made, but a lot of them through history in some states have just been unsustainable. What's our status quo?
Well, we've got a report. It's called www.texasitsyourmoney.org, and the last report is about pensions. So if you open this page, you go to Dallas. You have Dallas County Hospital, Dallas Employees Retirement, et cetera. The Police and Pension Fund, it says it's only 73.9% funded. Well, I would be curious as to whether, in fact, that's accurate. For any of the pensions, Mark, here is the problem. If I project that we're going to make tons of money off of our investments, then my actuary says, okay, Combs is going to make tons of money off the investments, so it's not going to be underfunded. It's going to be doing great. What we have never seen is the look back. Have you been projecting for years and years these incredibly unreasonably rosy outlook projections and you've not delivered, in which case you've got a big problem? You've got the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Board DPS retirement plan. It says it's 67% funded. Is that true? I don't know, because nobody has been given a look. We sent open records requests to about 85 or 90 of these folks, and 20 plus didn't even tell us what they would not give us the information. So this law would make you get the information. All of these cities, like Stockton in California, you don't think any of those people out there were given information. But now they're faced with closing schools, closing transportation, whatever they're going to have to do, because nobody on the pensions gave them the straight story.
So what is our overall suspicion? That there are things that are being hidden, that things are being underfunded, and we're just, it's kind of a ticking time bomb as more and more people go looking for the pensions to which they feel they are entitled. What kind of nightmare are we trying to prevent?
I think the problem is that we don't know. And that's really sort of the bottom line. I think for the statewide pensions, we do know. We know about ERS, the employees. We know about teachers. These individual local ones, you don't know. Next door to you in Fort Worth, look at what Mayor Betsy Price is trying to do. She's trying to be able to make that more solid. Houston is in a mess. She's in court. The mayor of Houston is in court trying to get the firefighters to give her information about how their books are. So the problem is, for you as a resident of Dallas, you're sitting there by your phone. You don't have a member of your family in a public pension. You work in the private sector. But if the public pension goes south, you're going to be on the hook because they're going to have to raise taxes and or reduce benefits. And so the bomb is that it's sort of city by city, town by town. We just don't know.
What a minefield a lot of this is. And there's something I've wanted to ask you ever since the story came out. Comptroller Susan Combs with us, and part of your job is every 2 years as the legislature kicks in to make a revenue estimate, to estimate how much money is going to come into state coffers. And tell me about the day when it turns out you'd had an estimate, And it turns out that we got more money. It was like the estimate was low, or the money was, and people portrayed like this was bad or something, like, oh my gosh, getting more money than you think is a wonderful thing. But what happened immediately, I guess sales tax was a little better than maybe we thought it would be. But the first thing people said is, aha, now we can refund every kind of cut that we've made in the last couple of years.
Well, the issue, of course, about these estimates is that we have actually a 32-month window, which is pretty tough to do. We give these in January of the odd years, so we have 8 months in that biennium and then 24 more, so it's pretty tough. Secondly, we had 2 recessions in this period and 2 recoveries. But thirdly, nobody, I think, projected and predicted the Eagle Ford shale, what that has done. The variability in these receipts, about 40% of that is due to the entire Permian Basin, Eagle Ford, all that stuff, which is a really good thing. Now, back to whether they should refund it or not. They had money in the rainy day fund. They could have used some of that in 2011 if they wanted to. They're going to take a look at the cash they've got now. They're going to have about $11.7 or $8 billion if they don't spend part of it. And I know they're going to put money out there in water and roads. It's a good thing. Thank goodness we're not in California. And I would say to somebody, I'd say, gee, would you like it if I was wrong by $8 billion the other direction?
Yeah, well, exactly. If you're gifted, exactly. The pleasant surprise is always good. Now, it's kind of funny. A lot of people might be hearing about this Eagle Ford thing for the first time. Is that bigger? I mean, the Barnett is what's big up here. Eagle Ford is more south and east. Which one's bigger and more, lucrative?
Eagle Ford. Barnett is a natural gas play, and that's basically kind of shut down because natural gas prices are terrible in the world. Eagle Ford is rocking and rolling. It is unbelievable what they're doing with the fracking. It's a multi-decade play. So is the Permian Basin, a multi-decade play. They're talking now about Spindletop. They're going to go back into Spindletop. They think there's another giant amount of oil in Spindletop. Talk about that's just a 100-year-old play.
How awesome is that? I just everything old is new again, and I love me some fossil fuels. I'm all about green things that work. That's lovely, but give me some fossil fuels. All right, Comptroller Susan Combs with us. A couple more minutes. All right, let's do this. I'm talking to your buddy and mine, Todd Staples, the other day, and everybody's making that big list of people that might be running for lieutenant governor. Will one of them be you?
Well, my point is, what is today? February the 9th? Okay.
Yep.
I just had a huge press conference yesterday about these bills. Frankly, I've got my plate full with important things that I need to do between now and June the 1st, so I am paying attention to my day job.
So you don't want to dispel this possibility, but nor is it something you want to get into right now.
Well, there is a clamor, actually, Mark, for me to become empress, and so I'm sort of yielding to those entreaties.
All right, I'll hang loose, and we'll talk more in June. I'll probably ask you between now and then anyway, though. So, hey, listen, thank you. I appreciate it very, very much, and best always. Hey, best website. Give me the website you're talking about the It's Your Money. Go ahead.
Yeah, www.texasitsyourmoney.org, and there are 4 reports, and they're PDFs, and you can print them out, and they're pretty doggone nifty.
TexasIt'sYourMoney.org. We'll link to it at 660AMEanswer.com. Thanks, Susan. Appreciate it very, very much.
Thanks, Mark.
You bet. Take care. Empress. She has the carriage of an empress. That is a very impressive woman.